Hey, Curtis coming at you from the Full Octane Garage, and today it's kind of an exciting day. It's the day after the launch of the C8 Corvette, and that's kind of a historic event in my mind because it's the first mid-engine Corvette. I'm really excited about it. I've had Corvettes for a long time. I've had obviously all front-engine Corvettes. The first mid-engine car we just picked up recently, which is an Acura NSX. And we've kind of fallen in love with that car. The handling dynamics are phenomenal. So we're really excited to see what happens with the C8 Corvette when we actually get our hands on it. Now, with last night being the launch, and here in Central Time Zone, that happened at 10 o'clock at night. As soon as the launch happened, there was tons of buzz on the internet. And then this morning, my phone's blowing up because everybody knows I'm a Corvette guy. And the very first thing out of everybody's text message, email, and voice was, do you have a deposit down on yours? And to be honest, I don't yet. I thought that I wasn't going to like the car when it came out. So I have held off on putting a deposit down on a C8 Corvette, just merely because I was a little apprehensive about it at first. But I'll tell you, I watched the video last night, I watched the launch, I've done some research on what I can find on the internet, and I am really impressed. I'm blown away with this car. The car is for the money, and I honestly thought the money was going to be a lot higher. When they came in and said this car was going to be under $60,000, I was like, holy crap, that is going to be a phenomenal deal. Now, there's good things and bad things with that. You got a car with this kind of level of performance, it's under $60,000. What's going to happen is everybody and their brother is now going to have a C8 Corvette when they come available. The production numbers will probably ramp up, just similar like they did in the C7s, and there was a ton of them out there. And I have to admit, I bought one of the first C7s that came out. It was a 2014, and by this time last year, I would go to cruise-ins, car shows, and honestly, I got a little tired of seeing C7s because there was just so many of them out there. Thus, why I have sold my C7, and I actually did it for a while to convert to a Porsche, and I may consider getting a C8 actually. It takes a $1,000 deposit out here to get a line number. Some local dealers only have 30 or 40 cars for the year, so I will probably end up having to deal with a Corvette or somebody like that that's going to have a very large allotment. I'm hopeful at some point that they'll start taking GM discounts because I'd really like to slide in on a GM discount and not pay full boat, even though $60,000 is not too terrible. But I'll probably want the Z51 package, and I'll want a 3LT with some upgraded appointments, and that's probably going to run about $75,000. So $75,000, if you can get a GM discount, you're probably talking $70,000, $68,000, depending on which plan you can get on. So I think that it may be worth waiting just a little bit, one, to get some of the bugs shaken out of them, and then two, to get to where you might actually get a discount on some of these cars. But I would say for the first year, we're probably not going to see any discounting unless you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody. And I don't know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, so I am probably not going to get a discount, but I will consider putting a deposit on one. Now, as I mentioned, my phone has been blowing up with friends talking to me about the C8 Corvette today. And it's funny, it's not just Corvette guys, it's guys who don't have Corvettes, who had never had an interest in getting a Corvette, who have had supercars and exotic cars, and they're calling me up saying, hey, what do you think? This thing looks outrageous. And I have to tell them, it looks outrageous and they ought to get one. So I believe that this is going to launch a whole new generation of Corvette owners that never ever considered owning a Corvette in the past. And I hope that I'm not proven wrong because, heck, I'm in my 50s. I am probably a younger Corvette owner in my 50s. And I would really love to see the younger generation embrace Corvettes and keep the marque going for a long time. So I honestly believe that the Corvette is going to broaden its generational attraction, and some younger people are going to be very interested, especially if they can get into one for under $60,000. Because $60,000 is the price of an average truck right now. So a C8 Corvette for 60 grand, that's a no-brainer. It'll be interesting to see how the insurance plays out on the C8 Corvette. C8 being new, insurance companies will have to do a little bit of their algorithms, which they haven't had much time or visibility, so it may not be too bad to start with, and hopefully it won't be too bad going forward. We pretty much know about what everybody else knows about the C8 Corvette right now. Some of the really cool things are the dynamic ride height when it comes to speed bumps or low points, driveways, things like that. You can put up to 1,000 points in the computer that will automatically remember where you need to raise the front end of the car up 2 inches. That's a really cool feature. That's going to save a lot of noses on Corvettes. I've done a couple of videos recently on is now the time to buy a C7 and also is now the time to sell a C7. And I stand behind my most recent video is now is the time to sell your C7 because the C8s are out and that's the car you want. Think about this. A near supercar performance, 0 to 60 in less than 3 seconds, mid-engine, phenomenal handling, magnetic ride, dynamic exhaust, all of this for around $60,000. So you take the nearest comparable car, Ferraris, Lamborghinis, even the Acura NSX. Now, granted, the NSX is a hybrid, but still, even now with their reduction in price, that's a $140,000 car new. You can almost buy 2 of these Corvettes for that. So, actually you can buy 2 Corvettes for that. And performance-wise, 0 to 60, God, I can't imagine 3 seconds. I drove a Tesla with ludicrous mode, and that was 0 to 60 in, I think, 2.7 seconds, and that was just outrageous. I can't wait to see what the performance numbers are going to feel like when I get behind the wheel of a C8. Now, are there things that I would change about the C8? Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure I'm digging the square steering wheel. Yeah, we've had a square bottom for a little while in some performance cars, and now they're trying a trend of a square top on a steering wheel. I think that's going to be probably one of my biggest things to get used to. The other exciting thing is the interior. The interior, they claim, has about 2 more inches of leg and headroom, or somewhere in that neighborhood. And I'm a tall guy, I'm 6'1". I fit pretty good into the C7, but I'll tell you, the C8, if it has more head and leg room, I am going to be a happy camper. Now, as you all know, I am a Corvette guy. I've had 7, 8, 10 Corvettes, somewhere in that range, anywhere from 1956 all the way up to 2014 is my latest. Now, I will say that some disappointments in the C7 were always the automatic transmission. But I think they've solved that problem in the C8. It actually has a dual clutch transmission, which actually shifts faster than a human could possibly shift. Now, there's going to be some purists out there and some guys that have the shift happens, and they're going to say, gosh, I have to have a manual car. Now, for the past 6 months, I've been driving a Porsche 911, which has the PDK transmission, which is the dual clutch, and I absolutely love it. I can shift it in manual mode, I can shift it, run it as an automatic, and the performance on it is phenomenal. So I believe that once I get behind the wheel of a C8 Corvette, I am going to really dig the dual clutch transmission. So if you look at some of the pictures that I'm going to display, the motor is mid-engine, but it's also very, very low in the chassis, and they've done this through utilizing a dry sump oil system. The dry sump oil system actually has a sump that mounts to the motor itself, very different from past dry sump systems, and it has a very, very low profile oil pan so that the motor can really sit low in the chassis, give it a very low center of gravity, and phenomenal performance. So would I be a player for a C7 Corvette in the sub $60,000 range? And my answer is a definite yes. I hope my wife's not watching because I don't know if her answer is a definite yes yet. But I say yes, and I think that it's a phenomenal deal. I think the car is just a work of engineering amazement, and how fast that car will go, how well it performs, and I haven't seen the fuel economy figures, but I gotta believe with the aerodynamics package built into this thing that it's gonna get really good fuel economy, just like past Corvettes. So not only do you get great fuel mileage, you get a supercar performance, and you get a bargain basement price in my mind for sub $60,000 for a car that goes 0 to 60 in less than 3 seconds. I'm glad you stuck with us. I look forward to hearing a lot of comments below. I suspect there will be some controversy. Some people will love the car, some people already hate the car. I'm a lover. I'm going to stick with that, and I hope you guys stick with us. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like us, share us with your friends, and come back for more informative videos from the Full Octane Garage.